Okay? Alright. Let's talk about, first of all, what we saw tonight. Is there anybody at all that can tell me the name of our two characters? I've been trying to get y'all to tell me these names for 2 nights now. Natalie, who you got? Hardly worth it and dying working. Good job. All right. Get some candy, all right? Put it in your pocket, all right? Don't need it in here. All right, now. What happened to them tonight? Who's the person that's been chasing them? Somebody over here, do you know? Baby, who's been chasing them?
The crook.
The crook. Good job, all right? Now, what happened tonight? Did they find the treasure tonight?
Yes.
Yes, they found the treasure. What happened to be the treasure? Does anyone know? Hope, who's the treasure? God. More importantly, what was the verse that you read? 3:16, okay? John 3:16. Very good, all right? Good job. All right, so we learned that real treasure isn't money or gold or rubies or any kind of jewels and stuff like that. The real treasure is what Jesus did for us and the fact that He can come live in our heart. So with that, I just want to tell you one story before the end. Just this one short story. This is a story that Jesus told, okay? He said that, just like our memory verse, the kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. It's like something great that we can discover and we can find. It's just like the stories that you've read and heard about people on treasure hunts looking for something magical. That's what He said about the kingdom of heaven. When a man found it, he hid it again. And then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant who was looking for fine pearls. And when he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and he bought it. How many of you know what a pearl is? Anyone know what a pearl is? What is a pearl? Someone describe it to me. Caleb, what is a pearl?
It's like something that's very pretty and...
Something very pretty. Yes, it's very good.
It's not a clown?
What? It's a clown?
It's a clown.
Well, you're right. I was messing with you. Yeah, it's inside of a clam. Where do we find clams, Caleb?
Beach.
Very good. You find them in the ocean, right? All right, these clams, they're like these fish. They live in a shell, and sometimes when sand gets in there, that sand gets trapped, and it just stays there, and it stays there, and over time, that clam's able to produce a pearl, which is sort of like a stone. It's real hard and real smooth, and it's real expensive. Has anybody ever seen a pearl before? You've seen one? All right. So, they're these expensive stones, and what Jesus said is the kingdom of heaven is like a pearl. Somebody who maybe collects pearls or likes pearls. If they see a certain pearl that they want, they would be willing to go sell everything they have just to get that pearl. That's how much they love it. I bet some of you have some pearls, so to speak, in your life. Maybe some things that you really like. And you get into that stuff so much that you want what's in that stuff. I know that I used to collect, and actually still do to a certain extent, baseball cards. Anyone ever had baseball cards before? All right. You've had baseball cards. Good. Good. All right. That's good. I used to collect them as a kid. I used to love getting baseball cards, and I was always want players that I liked, and I would always try to buy packs and keep trying to get certain cards I want. And there would be times where I would save up all of my money so I could go to a store and just buy one card that I could never find. That's the way that this person was about his treasure. The pearl will be his treasure. Some of you are like that. Maybe there's something you want, maybe a game or some sort of toy that you want. Every time you get some money, you try to hold on and save it until you can go to the store and get that. Has anybody ever done that before? Yeah. Well, you know what? The kingdom of heaven is similar to that. You see, once we as God's children, once we get our eyes and our hearts focused on heaven and we understand that that's what's important, you know what happens? We're willing to give everything that we have within us to get it. People are willing to lay down their lives and lay down some of their habits that they have inside of them, and they're willing to live according to God's law and to God's standards, and they're willing to spend time with Jesus regularly, to pray and to read the Bible, and then to share Jesus with others. You know why? Because heaven is like their treasure. And when heaven's our treasure, that's meant for all of us, then we'll give everything that we have. And you know that's what Jesus wants us to do. How many of you know that's what Jesus wants us to do?
I do.
He wants us to give everything that we have within us. He don't want just a part of us or just a little bit of us. He wants everything that we can give Him. Everything that we can give Him. Okay? It's like a big bowl of ice cream. He don't want just a couple of scoops of our ice cream so we can keep the rest. He wants, all of our ice cream. And once we give Him all of our ice cream, He'll bless us with more stuff, or better stuff. And that stuff comes in the form of heaven. How many of you want to go to heaven? Man, we all want to go to heaven. Somebody tell me about heaven. What do you know about heaven? What do you know about heaven?
Me?
Yeah.
It's made out of gold. The streets are gold.
Yeah, the streets are made out of gold.
And it's like a spirit world.
Yeah. All right. What do you know?
I can't really imagine it. I think it's the most beautiful place that's ever built.
It is. All right. Caleb, what do you know about heaven?
Streets of gold and gates of pearl.
Yeah, gates are made of pearl. It's like, you think of the greatest thing you've ever seen, the coolest thing you've ever seen, and then just multiply it times 5 billion, and it still wouldn't be good enough to be heaven, would it? It wouldn't, because heaven's like so great and grand. And God wants all of us to be there with Him. And in order for us to receive that treasure, we have to give everything that's within us. All of our heart's desire has to go to God. And you know what else? When we do that, God wants us to do one other thing. He wants us to share the treasure with others. Did you guys see the skit? You see, the treasure wasn't just for Don and Harley. It was for Don, it was for Harley, it was for Captain Crook. It was for the police officer. And guess what? It's for all of you too. You see, it's not just a treasure that some of us get and keep to ourselves. We've got to share with others and tell others about that treasure so they can be in heaven with us. How many of you want to do that? I'm going to ask everybody to stand with me. I want you to bow your heads and close your eyes.